What's up guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Alya if you are new here. So in today's video, as you can tell by the title, I am going to be filming a New Year's Eve makeup look. I think the last time I did this was like 2, maybe 3 years ago, and I did like a whole like beginning to end of day, like get it ready with me for New Year's Eve. But this is going to be solely the makeup look. At the end I'll show you my whole outfit as well. So yeah, let's just dive right into it, shall we? So I've got 2 primers I'm going to be using today. I'm going to be using the Tarte Timeless Pore Primer, which you see me use basically all the time. This one I kind of just put in the places where I have enlarged pores, and it helps really just make the finish of my makeup look smoother, longer. And then I do want kind of a glowy base. Now my eye look is going to be well, I'm thinking it's going to be a little more matte, but I'm not really sure yet. But I'm not going to do like a crazy sparkly eye look. But I do want to have kind of like a dewy, fresh looking complexion. So I'm going to be using this Wet n Wild Photo Focus Face Primer in Dewy Lumino. I think that's how you say it anyway. So we're going to start with those right now. I'm going to jump into the Pore Primer, and I'm just going to use this mirror, kind of make sure I'm not putting it in the wrong spots. Now, I didn't really like this primer when I first started using it, but I think it's because I put it like all over my face. It definitely is tacky, like your foundation will stick to it, which is good. And it doesn't like move around, but I did find when I was putting it like too close under my eyes and stuff like that, that it was kind of settling. Like it does sometimes settle kind of in the corners of my nose, which I don't love. But yeah, the trick I think is just to wait until it has kind of like fully settled into your skin before you start applying your foundation. And my skin was looking like flawless, and then I woke up with a zit on my chin, and that is probably because I went a little too far with the cake consumption on Christmas and after Christmas. So yeah, that's been fun, but hopefully she's gone by New Year's Eve. And then next I'm just going to take some of the Luminizing Primer and put that all over. I really like this. I find that it just gives such a nice glowy base. Now my skin is pretty dry in the winter, so it doesn't make me look oily or anything like that, but even if you do lean more oily, I think you could still get away with using this. Maybe just use a little bit less, you know, don't slather it on like I do, but I do think that it looks really nice. Now the foundation that I'm going to be using is actually like my new favorite. I don't think anything can replace it. I really hope it never gets discontinued. It's the L'Oreal True Match Nude Hyaluronic Tinted Serum. Oh my god, you guys, is this freaking wonderful. I have like recommended this to anyone who will listen. It starts out kind of like a lightweight coverage, but you can build it up to be more of a medium leaning full coverage, which I love. It's like your skin but better. It just melts in. You'll see that in a second. The shade is 3 to 4 light medium, so this is a little warm for like dark for my skin. I do have a shade even darker than this for when I'm really tan. I need now a shade that is lighter. So I think I'm gonna mix this in with my NYX BB cream, and this is just in the shade 01 Nude. You guys have seen me use that a lot, so I think if I mix these together we'll be okay. And this does come in like an eyedropper. It is kind of messy. You can kind of see like the product does kind of collect on the like stem of the dropper, so that can be a little annoying. But I think what I'm gonna do is maybe like put it on the back of my hand and then mix the other shade in, because I can definitely see like, yeah, that's gonna be a little dark. And I really don't like bringing the foundation down my neck if I don't have to. So we're just gonna mix these two together. Hopefully it looks okay. They are a kind of similar consistency, so I'm hoping it will work. And I guess I'm just going to kind of put this around. I probably put way too much on my hand. This is definitely going to still be a little on the dark side. And like I said, I normally wear it kind of, well, I guess I didn't say, but I normally wear it kind of sheer. I just prefer it that I'm gonna have to take this down my neck. Who am I kidding? But I normally wear it sheer, but for this video, and since I did put so much kind of like, you know, on the back of my hand, I'm gonna build it up to be more of like a medium consistency. And I really like to blend this with a sponge. I've tried it with a brush and that's nice too. But I feel like the sponge really keeps that like dewy, kind of like skin-like finish that the brush can sometimes, you know, take away. So you can definitely use both. You could use a brush first and then use the beauty sponge after, which is another way that I've done it. And I like that way as well. I don't know why I'm out of breath right now. It's literally makeup application. I think it's because I'm talking and not breathing. Now my skin is flaking a little bit from some of the retinol that I've been using, so just try and ignore that. You know what, that actually looks fine. It doesn't look too dark. I think mixing the two worked out really well. I'm not sure if I actually want to build it up any more than that. I think I'm digging the finish as it is. So we're gonna leave the foundation alone and we're gonna move into concealer. Now this other concealer is a new one that I tried very recently and it goes great with this foundation. This is the L'Oreal Age Perfect Radiant Concealer. This is such a good dupe for the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer. Like, it is like an exact dupe in my opinion, just a quarter of the price. The shade that I have here is 205 Creamy Beige. And you can see the packaging even looks pretty similar. Sorry, this is like not wanting to focus. It looks pretty similar to the Nars packaging. So this is a light slash medium coverage, definitely leaning more light. So if you want like a natural look. I also have here my e.l.f. Camo Concealer. I think this is the regular, not the creamy, and this is in the shade Light Sand. This is going to give you a more full coverage, so depending on what you're looking for, usually like New Year's Eve makeup is a more full coverage, but I think I'm going to start out with this and see if I can just build it up, because I do really, really love this. Honestly, it's just, it's such a pretty concealer. It looks so nice all day. It doesn't crease around my eyes, which I do love. It does kind of crease around my nose, so just a fair warning there. But this just really, I mean, obviously concealer is meant to correct, definitely takes away like some of the hyperpigmentation I have around my eyes. You can see it is not going to be like a super full coverage concealer, but I kind of like the more natural look right now, like the natural glowy, fresh skin look. I realize not everyone is into that, but I feel like especially in winter, creamy and like dewy products are so much nicer than matte ones because your skin tends to already be pretty dry, you know, just from the winter air. So I feel like this is kind of like a nice way to make your skin still look alive and not completely dried out. I'm gonna add a tiny bit more. I have like a sunspot right here that I really am not a fan of, that I'm currently trying to fade away, so I will let you know how that goes. Seems to be working a little bit, but I just need to be consistent. And because I have this lovely zit on my chin, I'm just going to use, I don't even know what product this is. This is disgusting looking. I have had this, it's Cover Stick Concealer. It must be CoverGirl. It's really disgusting and old, but it works so well. I'll see if I can find it and link it, because honestly, if you have breakouts, this stuff is amazing. So I think I'm gonna go in and set my under eyes. I don't normally set my makeup anymore. I don't know why, I just don't really like to. I don't really find that it makes much of a difference with creasing. I don't really get a lot of creasing because I don't really move my face that much. Like, I'm not super expressive. But I like the Bare Minerals Original Mineral Veil. I use this all the time. It doesn't add any like pigment or anything. It's just like a really nice light setting powder, and it doesn't really take away much of that dewiness. So I find that this is a nice, you know, setting powder to use if you're not really super into setting powders. Okay, so these next products I am really excited about. They are e.l.f. I love the new like putty bronzers and putty, not primer. I haven't tried that actually. Putty blush and putty bronzer. So that's what we're gonna use today. I'm using this color here. I think this is like the medium or like the lighter one. I'll link it below. I can't quite remember the name. There is a darker one than this, but I got this shade because I'm really not that tan anymore. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take that on a brush and really just lightly contour out my nose. This is something else I haven't been doing that much recently, just like serious contouring, but because this is a New Year's Eve look, we are going all out. And then I'm just taking that same sponge that I used for concealer and just patting that in so that it looks more natural. Then I'm going to go in with this angled brush that I always use for contouring, and I'm just going to pick up some of that product. Now this is something that's really like, it's buildable. It does not go on super dark right away, which I do like because I do have an issue with like going too dark with bronzer sometimes. And I find this is just like really nice and natural. I do have some like patchiness. Again, like I said, my skin is kind of peeling from my retinol, so apologies for that. It's not the products, it's literally my skin. And I really just go all around like this part. It's like a C shape around my face. And then I do my under my jaw to really just emphasize the angles. And then this is a technique I learned recently, like taking it down the front of the neck. It kind of like snatches in your neck a bit. So that's what I've been doing. And then I'm just going to take the sponge I used to blend my foundation, and I'm just going to pat that over the cheeks. So that's all I'm going to do for bronzer. I'm just going to do a cream one, and then I'm going to let it be. And then I'm going to go in with this really gorgeous e.l.f. Putty blush. Do they have, oh, they do have the names on the side. I'm an idiot. Okay, so the bronzer is called Golden Days, and the blush is called Turks and Caicos. Like, look how pretty that is. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. So I'm going to go ahead and just take it. And what I love about these is like, while they're creamy, they do not like kind of move and like act sticky. I do have some cream blushes that I love, but they are a little more sticky. This is not a super sticky formula. Like, can you just see how fresh and glowy that looks? I think it's still a little patchy like right in here, but again, peeling, sorry. But yeah, I just think that this looks so like nice and glowy. I love it. Okay. Now I think I want it to be a little bit more like kind of on the shimmery side. So I'm going to take this little like mini Nars Orgasm blush. This does have some like flecks of sparkle in there. Oh yeah, see, that adds such like a nice little like hint of extra sparkle and radiance. This is one of like my all-time favorite products. It is the Tarte Dewy Stick, and it's like, well, it's kind of like a highlighter really. It's this stick with a dewy end to it. And you just apply that where you would apply your highlight, and it just gives like this really gorgeous, natural, dewy look to your skin. And I'll put that like, you know, on my nose. And I really just focus it right in this area here. And I just think it looks so pretty. Like, just, I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but it's really like nice and glowy. And I might build up a little bit of highlight on the top. So I have this Milani, God, it's like blinding the camera. Okay. I'm going to take this shade here. This is the Rose Glow set, and this is the shade Pearl. So I'm just taking a little bit of that highlight and really kind of popping it on those places where I want some extra glow. So taking it up the cheek, temple, over the brow bone, on the brow bone. This is New Year's Eve makeup after all, so we do want a nice highlight. Let's move on into eyes. I'm gonna zoom you guys in and we'll get to the fun stuff. For brows, I'm going to be using this NYX Professional Makeup Lift and Snatch brow pen in the shade Espresso. This has like a felt tip to it. The shade is a little dark. I haven't tinted my eyebrows this week, so it might be a bit much, but I'm gonna try and take a really light hand and try to just fill in those sparse areas. and I have a hard time keeping my hand really light, but the lighter the better, and just like the very tip of this to get that nice hair flick look. Well, my brows are not ever going to be like even and perfect, but that is okay. I'm going to move on now into this brow gel, and this is the Rimmel Born This Way Styling Brow Gel. I have a few brow gels. This is just kind of the first one I grabbed. They're all kind of the same to me, honestly. Like, do they really work that well? Meh. But, you know, it is what it is. Now, for my eyeshadow look, I kind of want to do like a 90s smoky eye, like black and brown. I haven't done that maybe ever. Definitely not on this channel. So I am not really sure how it's going to turn out, and I'm kind of just winging it. So I guess we'll start with a light base. The one thing that I will say about this concealer, and I always forget to not take it up onto my eyes, is it does crease in my eyelids. I don't know why. It doesn't crease in the rest of my eyes, just my eyelids. So I'm going to go in with my Lorac Unzipped palette, and it has shades like these. So I'm going to start out with the lightest shade here and use that just as my eyeshadow base. This is a really like bright shade, which is going to be good for this look and also for setting down the concealer. And then what I think I'm going to do next is I'm actually going to be taking an eyeliner pencil, like a gel, like rollout one. And this is the Revlon Color Stay eyeliner in black. And I'm going to just be going in on the upper lash line. And I'm going to actually smoke this out after. And I'm just blending that out and making it nice and smudgy. So that's what we're going to start out with, and now I am going to actually jump into this Lorac palette again, and I'm going to go in with this kind of cool toned, like mauve-y almost brown shade, and I am just going to, here's my brush, blend that into the crease and bring it down a bit onto the lid. And I have another sort of like mauve-y brown, even more cool toned, a little bit darker shade here. This is a really old eyeshadow. I don't even know what this, where is this from? This is from Milani, and it's called Bella Taupe. I don't even think they still make this, honestly, so apologies for that. But I'm going to take that just on a smaller brush and pack that more on the outer corners and over the smoked out liner. I'm going to take a matte black eyeshadow on this little angled brush, and I'm going to just go over that liner that we put down earlier. I'm just going in with that first taupey brown shade and patting that all along where we just put the black liner to really continue to smoke that out. Because we don't really want like a super harsh line on the top. And I'm just going to line my waterline with the black liner and kind of like almost a little bit under and really smudge that out. I feel like that was a really prominent look in the 90s, and no, it makes it easy, because then if your eyeliner starts to smudge, it's already smudgy, so it looks like it's part of the look. So, pro tip. Now I'm just going to take a small little, kind of like an eyeliner brush, and blend that so that it's nice and smudged. And I'm just going to set that liner again with this angled brush, and I think what I'm going to do actually is take the first kind of like brown shade from this palette here, this one up here, and I'm just going to go over that liner with it. And I wasn't going to do like an inner corner, but I think this look kind of needs just a little something extra. So I'm going to go and take just a black shadow and do the inner corner here. And I did just go in with the pencil liner and just do my upper waterline as well. So I'm really liking how this is looking. I don't know if I want to add any sparkle. Should I add like a tiny bit of sparkle? So I have this Rimmel palette here, and it does have some really pretty, well, they're all shimmers, but it has some pretty like brown shimmers in there as well. So what the heck, why not? Let's just do a little shimmer. And I'm really just gonna focus it right here where the eyeliner and the V is. And you can't even really tell that much if there's a shimmer in it. I think this is like the touch though that the makeup needed, just like another dark like cool tone brown to really tie the look together, you know what I'm saying? And obviously the key with like a look like this is really like blending is the most important part. Dark shadows can be harder to blend, especially like blacks and browns. I think that's going to complete the eyeshadow, so we're going to move on into mascara, and I'm going to do this off camera just because it takes me freaking forever to do it. But I'm going to be using my Bad Gal Bang mascara. I always use this one. It gives you like the most glamorous looking eyes ever. And then for the lower lash line, I'm just going to use this Clinique. It's like, I don't know, it says high impact. It definitely gives you like a fuller lash line. So I like this for the lower lashes. Okay, so mascara is done. My lashes are kind of like all at different lengths right now. They go through a shedding phase since I use a lash serum, so they're kind of janky looking. And I also think I accidentally used the older tube of mascara instead of the new one, so that didn't really help. Anyways, not much I can do about that. I should have just gone for false lashes, and I will probably do that for actual New Year's Eve. But let's move on into lips. I'm going to keep it like a brown nude. I want to keep on that kind of like 90s look. So I think what I'm going to start out with, I have like a few different liners and a few different lipsticks, and I'm just going to like be mixing it because I'm not really sure what I want to do. So, oh, first, this is what I've been doing lately, like all of the time. It's like contouring out my lips. It literally makes me look like I have lip filler. And I just take like a, okay. Don't know how that just happened, but I'm going to be taking a, like, I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, so anyways, I'm going to be taking this contour shade here, and I'm just going to contour my lips with it. Yeah, I guess I just used the mirror on its own. Cool. And I just go under my lips and then kind of like bring it up and around. And then on the top, like where the Cupid's bow is. So you can see already, that's made my lips look a lot fuller. And then I'm gonna go in with this, it's like a really like true, kind of like, well, not true nude. It's like a cool tone, like brown nude. And I'm just gonna line my lips with that. Probably like this area. Actually, I don't know if I'll do like the full lip with this. So I think I'm gonna keep it in that area, and then I might actually even blend that. Cause I don't know why, but suddenly my lip area is peeling. Then I'm going to go in with a even more like brown shade. Well, it's kind of like almost a red, is it like reddish brown? Let's see. Is it gonna be like too red? I think we can make it work. Now the key to a real like 90s nude lip is definitely a brown liner that's like a shade or two darker than the lipstick color. I'm just going in with another liner. I'll link all these down below for you guys because it's kind of confusing. This one I'm really just going kind of all over the lip with. So we're gonna start with that, and now we're gonna go in with a lipstick to kind of make it a little bit lighter. It is like reading really dark on camera right now. So I have a few lipsticks to choose from that I brought. I have this Wet n Wild Never Nude shade, and let me just show you what that looks like. This is definitely like a true nude. I think I might actually do this one. I think that it'll go better with the lip look that we got going on here. So I'm gonna do that. I also have two Milani shades. This is Nude Cream. This one's also really nice if you want like more of like a peachy nude. And the Milani ones are a little creamier. And then I have this Matte Naked, which you guys have seen me use several times. Again, it's like a creamy nude. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do the Wet n Wild, the Never Nude. And I'm gonna really just apply that to like the center. And then like bring it down and inward. If that makes sense. You know what, I lied. I'm gonna add the Milani Nude Cream on top of that. So the lip is definitely a little darker than intended, but I do feel like it gives that kind of like 90s vibe, so I'm okay with it. I'm gonna go in with my e.l.f. Makeup Mist Setting Spray and just set the look down before we run into any problems. Okay, makeup is officially done. I'm gonna zoom you guys out and show you the full look now. Okay, so this is the full look. Let me know what you guys think. I did try and like accessorize my background as well. I've got a little sparkly purse, and unfortunately you couldn't see it, but my sparkly heels, which I will be wearing on New Year's Eve, and I'll actually pop up a picture right here of the full look for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed this look. I will of course link everything I use down below, and as well as any discount codes or coupon codes I have for other products that I use regularly. Thank you guys so much for watching, and have a safe and wonderful new year.